Hello Loomers, this video is for my Skip Brioche Houndstooth pattern. As you see, it is a rather stylized pattern and it is very thick and very tight knit. This is due to the nature of the skipped brioche technique. So if you don't want it to be so thick, I would suggest using a smaller gauge loom with thinner yarn, which will help mitigate that. It is a pattern using a brioche, skipping every other peg, done in a series of 4 rows. Each tooth in the houndstooth is 4 pegs wide, so you want to use multiple of 4s in the number of pegs you use. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. The smaller gauge, the more pegs you can use and still have a scarf width. So here we go. You start off with the Brioche Cast On, just like in my other video. And then we do row number 1. So you want to hold the colors in the opposite hands from what side they're going to be on. And then we start with peg number 1. Skip peg number 2, knit 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11. All with the same color on one side. That finishes the first pass of row number 1. Now for row number 2, for the second pass of row number 1, we wrap the yarn and do the same side for same color for the first peg, then switch colors, and then switch back and forth on every empty peg all the way up, ending on peg number 2. So if we look at the color distribution, we have black, white, black, 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 white, black, 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 white, black, black, with the reverse on the other side. And that's row number 1. So we then knit them over. Oh, shoot. There we go, rescued it. Alright, row number 1 is complete. Now row number 2, you see we're starting out on the second peg, but we're still going to wrap the first peg first. And for row number 2, we're going to start out black, skip, white, black, white, all the way down, skipping every other color. Then when we start our second pass, we're going to switch hands and then do white all the way up. So for row number 2, we have black, white, 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 black, white, 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 black, white, white, white. for row number 2. And now we knit over. Row number 2 is complete. Now we move on to row number 3. Now row number 3, we're not starting off with black on this peg. We're going to start off with white. So we switch the colors, wrap them, and we go white all the way down, skipping every other peg. Once we get to the bottom, we're going to start out with white. No, we're going to start out with black, and then we skip every other color, going back and forth, black and white, all the way to the top. So for row number 3, we have white, 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 black, white, 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 black, white, 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 black. And now we knit over. Okay, now we're on to the last row in the series, row number 4. We return to having black on this peg. And for this one, we're going to switch the colors back and forth again. Black, white, black and white, all the way down till we get down here, and then we're going to do black all the way up. So for row number 4, we have black, black, white, black, 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 white, black, 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 white, black. And now we knit over. And that's the completion of the 4th row, and you just keep repeating those 4 rows over and over again, and that will give you this effect. Now, put the bind off. Normally, when you bind off one color, you bind off here to here, going back and forth, all the way across until you come to the last strand right here, and you pull that through the last loop. But with 2 colors, some people think it's kind of confusing, but it really is the same thing. You bind off here all the way across, back and forth, until you get to here. You pull this through the last loop, and then you tie these 2 strands together and just tuck them in. So it's just the tying off of the 2 strands at the end that is different. I will see about making a bind off video later if people want to see how I do it. Alright, that was the Houndstooth. Thank you very much.